Hey everybody, and welcome back once again to Crooked Chicken. Today we're going to do another Walking Dead video. Today we're going to cover the last episode of Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon. Another great episode. Going to be kind of a quick little review because this is the second time I've tried to record this, and the other one was entirely too long. But I just kind of want to touch the main big plot points of this episode. We got some reveals, and those similarities between Last of Us are back once again, and people are talking about it. But this episode, what I really loved about it was just the fact that we got those flashbacks to the fall of Paris. Just scenes like that I'm really excited to see. I love seeing the downfall of everything, seeing how the world fell apart, and just, especially this time around, seeing it in another part of the world, seeing it from a different angle. And not only that, with that fall, we got to see a reveal and another side of who Isabel was before she was this kind of well-to-do, mannered nun at the Abbey. And so that's what I really enjoyed about this episode. So the episode kind of starts off with those flashbacks. We get the scenes of see who Abby was before everything went to shit. She was a party girl. It opens up, she's at this club in Paris. She's just dancing around with all these different men. She's doing drugs. And not only that, on top of everything else, she's stealing from the men that are spoiling her with these drinks, because this seems to be the way that she is surviving. This is how she gets by in life. She dances at this club. She's doing drugs off tables. She's just going back and forth. And then we see her leave this club to reveal her earnings of the night, if you call them that. She has cash. She has credit cards. She has watches. And this is how she's getting by in life. And it's after she leaves the club and we see the things that she kind of stole through the night. We get this big open shot of Paris. We see the Eiffel Tower. It's a very beautiful setting, and we see these little things kind of indicating that the end of the world has started. We see she's out taking a smoke break, and we see that someone's getting attacked across the street. It could be a simple mugging, but we do kind of see that they are being bitten or kind of snapped at. And then somebody gets hit by a car. The car speeds off, and after that, Abby makes her way down to the subway station where we saw that big scene within the teasers and within the trailers that she's waiting for this train, and everything's not going to hell quite yet, but then the train rushes by, and we see that big scene of everyone being attacked by walkers on this train. They're breaking windows, trying to get out. It's a big thing. Then we start to see walkers stumble out of the stairs from down the way. People are running away. She turns around and runs, goes out onto the street, and it's just utter chaos at this point, and I just love every second of it. I love seeing these parts of the apocalypse where we see it actually occurring, see things start to go into panic and chaos and utter destruction. Maybe I have a problem, I don't know, but I just really enjoyed that part of it. So we see further things, like we see a car plowed into a newsstand. It's since killed the guy that was running the newsstand, and it gets up and starts lurching towards Isabel, and just you see everything just going completely crazy around her. People are being attacked, people are being run over. We see a motorcycle speed past her and a crash, and then as this thing keeps getting closer and closer to her, this car swings out of nowhere and it knocks this walker down. This guy jumps out. This guy's name is Quinn. He is, at first we're not sure, but it seems that he does have a relationship with Isabel, and then it just kind of goes from there, and we get back to present day. They're continuing upon their mission, and just Daryl you can tell that his mission is to get home, obviously, but continuing on that way, they run into another group. It's a group composed mostly of children, and they're living in a rundown preschool, and then they kind of revealed that they need some help. There was some medicines, and their caretaker, who was a teacher as well, is dying. So he takes it upon himself to go on a mission with the lead girl, whose name is Lou. And we see all these kids. There are a lot of them. They reveal that everything kind of went to shit, and they were very young. So, we're 12 years into the apocalypse. So these kids were tiny kids when the world ended, and they never saw their parents come back, and so they stayed at the preschool, and that's where they remained after all these years. He goes with Lou to go after these medical supplies, and they come across one of the missing children from that encampment, and they make their way, and they run into an American, and then just shenanigans ensue from there. This guy is obviously, he's not aware that these things are not, they're not, the events that's going on in the world or whatever are not isolated to Paris. He's talking about wanting to get home. Daryl has to break it to him. There is no home anymore. It's gone just like everything else. And so this guy really has nothing to lose. And as they're leaving, Daryl has to kind of take him prisoner because he's kind of holding this kid down in this building by shooting at him. And so Daryl takes it upon himself to get this guy out of the way. They're leading him out of this area. He tries to take advantage and tries to get at Daryl, but naturally he just gets himself killed. And so we see the moat of walkers, and one of them ends up being another missing kid from that tribe or whatever you want to call it. And it just kind of picks up going back and forth there, and we get to reveal of how Laurent came to be. And it turns out Laurent's mother is Isabelle's sister. And the whole thing goes down. She's giving birth to him, or she's pregnant with him as the apocalypse is coming on, and they have to make their way. They're with Quinn at one point, and I kind of suspect that Quinn might be the kid's father. Just the way he acts and everything, it seems like he's trying to do away with her because he discovers that she is pregnant and tries to talk Isabelle out of taking her with them because there's no one to take care of this kid or take care of her in the event of anything happening. And then they just kind of split off. They take his car keys and they run, taking his car, leaving Quinn behind. And we don't see Quinn again after that so far. I think we're going to see him in the next episode during present day. But after they get gone, they get to the Abbey. She goes into labor and dies mid-labor. And this is how Laurent comes to be. Now, the thing I believe that's going to make people think that he's immune or just somehow different from everybody is that when his mom died, he had not been delivered yet. He was actually still inside, and he was delivered from a walker via C-section. And so that kind of leads you to believe maybe he could be immune. And, you know, there's that possibility, but I don't think they're going to go that route. And this is where it kind of gets back to the comparisons to The Last of Us, because she's bitten at some point trying to get away. And so it's very similar to The Last of Us, because we know that Ellie was born just mere minutes or so after her mother was bitten by an infected. And that's what caused her immunity and the mutation within her to be able to withstand being bitten and setting off that story. So the similarities are there. And so we're going back and forth with these flashbacks with present day. Daryl gets back to this community, made good on his word, got the supplies that he needed, but he reveals to them that that was kind of a ruse, really, because the old woman that was taking care of them, she's as good as dead, and there's nothing they can do for her. And so they make the difficult decision to put her down because she's been bedridden for 6 months at this point. And so after that, they're getting their things together to continue on their mission. And during this whole thing, Laurent is revealed just how awkward and off-putting he is, because he did not have the opportunity to grow up with other children, and he's trying to socialize with these kids and he just can't. And just, it's an interesting story as far as seeing the reveal of who Isabelle was, who Laurent is, how he came to be, and what might lead those nuns and everything to believe that he is immune, or he's going to bring on he's going to bring on the revival of humanity. And just, there's a lot of reveal and a lot of back and forth in this episode. I really enjoyed this episode, though, and I can't wait for the next one, because I think we're going to see probably a come to Jesus kind of moments where we're going to see Condron reappear and come after Daryl, because it's revealed during this episode too that he is tracking them, because he goes back to the Abbey to kind of lick his wounds but also gather information about their trip. He comes across a file folder with Laurent's information in it. He comes across Daryl's tape recorder. He sees the map on the wall that we had from the first episode, kind of routing out their trip and everything. So it's a lot to take in and a lot to kind of dissect to, if you will, between how it's so similar to Last of Us regarding Laurent, and just seeing Isabelle's backstory, I was glad to see that. And of course, again, I love seeing those flashbacks to see the fall of the world, to see the fall of Paris, and just, I'm always down for that kind of stuff. But all in all, a great episode. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the next one. So anyways, I think that will do it for my review. I definitely recommend this show. If you were like me and you didn't think it would be good, I was completely wrong, and that seems to be the general consensus. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you check out the series, and if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want more access to my Walking Dead content, and please leave likes and comments and everything. I want to know what you guys have to say about the show. Are you enjoying it as much as me? But I think that'll do it, guys. So until next time, guys, I will see you later. Bye.